In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to optimize your shoulder training for maximum results. Maintaining shoulder strength and mobility is essential for us wheelchair users. This is because it supports our upper body function, allows us to do our daily activities with ease and grace, which combined enhances our overall quality of life. And I'm going to give you 6 tips to make sure that you're making your shoulder training as effective as it possibly can be. So our first tip here is to prioritize exercises that promote stability. The reason for this is that we want nice stable shoulders. First of all, the more stable they are, the more you'll be able to lift, but also the more resilient they will be to the pushes and pulls of life, which as a wheelchair user, there's a lot of push and pulls on our shoulders through our daily life. Doing exercises like the dumbbell shoulder press is a really great way of doing this, because we're using those weights independently in each shoulder has to stabilize themselves. So when we're pressing overhead, we're not going off in all sorts of directions, causing problems in the shoulder joint. And if you're a quadriplegic, then you may not be able to do an overhead press, which is fine. We can do a lateral raise instead. And our shoulders are still having to stabilize to get that weight up. Stable, strong shoulders are super important for us wheelchair users to stay injury-free, but also to maximize daily activities. And the second point here is that we want to emphasize full range of motion when we're doing our shoulder exercises. The reason for this is that we want to work the muscle through its full range of motion for maximum results. The muscles are designed to move through these ranges of motion, so it's important to add tension to these points, which means that weight's attached whilst we're going all the way through, contracting and fully extending. If going through a full range of motion for the first time, you may find that you need to reduce the weight when doing this. That's because you're working parts of your muscle that you've never worked before. So drop the weight if needed, go through full range of motion, and you can build it back up over time. Remember, it's not about how much you lift, but how much tension you put on the muscle over time. And point number 3 comes back to our stabilization, and it's working on those rotator cuff muscles located deep within the shoulder. These muscles are designed to rotate the arm at the shoulder, both internally and externally. And they also help to stabilize that shoulder joint. So isolating them and targeting them specifically can help to stabilize the shoulder, so when we are doing heavier lifts, we'll be able to do it a lot safer and reducing the risk of getting an injury whilst doing them. Tip number 4 is to adjust our positioning and potentially some of our exercises too. So most exercises are fine to be sat up nice and straight, but if we want to get full range of motion, we may need to lean to the side, lean forwards to get a better range of motion for our exercises. For example, if we're doing a dumbbell lateral raise, if we lean to the side that we're holding the weight in, it means we're getting through a longer range of motion and increasing the stretch at the bottom of it. And mixing up our rear flies by using a cable machine means we're getting that stretch because we're bringing that arm right across the body and right the way across, which may not be possible because the wheelchair's in the way on the standard rear fly. Next up, we also want to focus on the isometric and the eccentric part of the exercise. What I mean by this is that often we think about only half of the exercise, which is the lifting part of it. But we also need to focus on the reducing part too. To do this, what we do is lift the arm up. When we hold it still, that's the isometric phase, so we can lift it up, hold it, and then lower down nice and slowly. A good rhythm for this is about 2 seconds up, hold for 1 second, and then 2 to 3 seconds on the way down. What this does is means that we're engaging the muscle over a longer time, and more time the muscle is under tension, the more results we're going to see. And my last tip for developing your shoulders is to focus on balance. Now, the shoulder's made up of 3 heads. We've got the front, middle, and rear deltoid, and they all need to be worked effectively. Now, for the front deltoid, it's getting worked quite well already in our chest movements and pushing a wheelchair, so it may require a little bit less attention than the other 2. Working the middle delt by lifting up to the side isn't a common thing that we do in daily activities, so it's a really important one to build for overall strength in the shoulders. And the one that gets neglected the most is probably the rear deltoid. Doing stuff like hunching forwards on our phones, being on the laptops, can cause these muscles to become weak because they're out of position. So as wheelchair users, we need to prioritize doing those rear deltoids, making them as strong as we possibly can. The middle deltoids about the same as the rear deltoids really, and the front less so. So balance these out by doing different exercises, focusing on ones that do rear deltoids and middle deltoids more. So let's recap what we've learned today. We want to prioritize big, strong movements that also work on our stability. When doing these movements, we want to make sure we're having a full range of motion, both at the stretch position and the extended position. We want to make sure our supportive muscles, the rotator cuff muscles, are also getting strengthened too to support those big lifts. We need to be able to move our body into different positions to be able to get maximum range of motion through different exercises. We don't want to just focus on the lift part of our exercise because we're missing half of it through the isometric, the hold part, and the eccentric, which is the descending part of the exercise, to maximize the amount of time our muscles are under tension. And we want to make sure we're doing exercise that balance all three heads of the deltoids, and remembering that some of them need more work than others. If you need any more information about anything that I've mentioned today, please pop it in the comments section down below and I'll be sure to help you on your journey. But if you did like the video, guys, be sure to hit the like button. It really does help out the channel and make sure that I can get more great information videos like this one to you. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. There's more great videos like this on the channel already and much more coming in the near future. So thank you for watching again, and I will see you in another one. Bye. Are you ready to start your fitness journey? Then sign up now at adapttoperform.co.uk and get access to hundreds of workouts specifically for us wheelchair users.